Imagine you're standing in front of the banana display at the grocery store. Dozens of curved yellow fruits close enough that your brain labels them banana and reaches automatically. You grab a few, go home, peel one, take a bite, and something is instantly wrong. It's not sweet, it's firm, starchy like a potato wearing a banana's skin. So what did you actually buy? And here's the stranger part. Why do some bananas only become delicious after cooking, while others are perfect the second you peel them? Even more confusing, why does one version turn black and look spoiled? Yet, that's when some cultures want it most. In this video, I'll give you a 5-second rule to never mix them up again, and a simple way to choose the right one for the exact dish you're making. Let's get into it, right here on Secrets of Simple Things. Why they look like twins. This mistake happens because they're not strangers. Bananas and plantains are close relatives, same genus, Azat, Musa, so they share the same silhouette your brain has learned to trust: long, curved, and eventually yellow. Even the plant they grow on adds to the illusion. What we casually call a banana tree isn't a true woody tree. It's a giant herb that grows fast, fruits, and then gets replaced. So in the store, they don't look like two categories. They look like two versions of the same thing, and that's exactly why your eyes are so easy to fool. One family, two careers. But here's what you actually bought. Over thousands of years, humans pushed this same family in two directions, two careers. One direction was selected for sweetness and softness, fruit that tastes finished the moment you peel it. That became the banana most of us treat like a snack. The other direction was selected for density and cooking performance, fruit that stays firm, feeds more people, and works like a staple ingredient. That became the plantain. So the difference isn't big banana versus small banana, and it's not simply ripe versus unripe. It's raw-ready versus cook-ready. Once you frame it that way, the confusion in the supermarket suddenly makes sense. You weren't choosing a fruit, you were choosing a job. Taste. Sweetness vs. starch. Taste is usually the first clue because taste reveals what the fruit expects from you. Bananas lean sweet, even when they're not fully ripe, and as they ripen, starch turns into sugar, pushing them toward the dessert-like flavor we expect. That's why bananas belong so naturally in smoothies, oatmeal, cereal, and baking. They're designed to taste complete, without requiring anything else. Plantains, especially when green, don't play that game. They're low sugar, mild, and starchy, more neutral than sweet, so a raw bite can feel like disappointment if you expected banana flavor. As plantains ripen, they do get sweeter, but the sweetness is deeper and warmer, and it shows up best when you cook them more caramel than candy. Bananas announce themselves as fruit. Plantains behave like an ingredient. Texture. The real giveaway. Texture is where the difference stops being subtle. A ripe banana is soft and creamy. It crushes under a fork, disappears into batter, blends without effort. That softness is part of the banana's design. It's meant to yield. Plantains are built for the opposite. When green, they're dense and firm, the kind of firmness that holds a clean slice and refuses to collapse. Even when ripe, they typically hold their shape better than bananas. They survive frying, boiling, and baking without turning into mush, which is exactly why they show up in savory dishes. Bananas vanish into recipes. Plantains become the structure of the dish. And if you've ever struggled to peel a green plantain, that resistance is a feature, not a flaw. It's still in its starch-forward, cooking-first phase. Ripeness. Plantains don't just ripen, they switch roles. Now we can answer the black skin mystery from the hook. With bananas, ripeness mostly shifts sweetness and softness, but the role stays the same, a raw snack that gets sweeter over time. Plantains switch roles as they change color, almost like three different foods hiding inside one peel. Green plantains are starch. Slice, fry, smash, fry again, and you get crisp, savory pieces like tostones. Yellow plantains soften and start balancing starch with a hint of sweetness. Then the skin turns dark, sometimes fully black, and this is where people throw them away too early. For plantains, black can mean ready. Inside, the starch has converted further, and in a hot pan, they caramelize into something soft, sweet, and rich, the kind of side dish that makes salty and spicy food taste even better. So, the real plantain question isn't, is it ripe? It's, which stage do I want for this dish? A quick kitchen map. If that question feels abstract in the store, here's the simple map that makes it practical. No charts, no overthinking, just kitchen logic you can remember when you're standing at the stove. If it's green, treat it like a starch. Think crisp, savory, structured. This is the stage that behaves like a dependable base, something you can slice cleanly, fry hard, and serve next to a meal without it falling apart. Green plantains are where you get that satisfying crunch, the kind that holds up to dips, sauces, and salt. If you're the kind of person who loves crispy edges, green is your stage. If it's yellow, you're in the middle zone, still firm enough to hold its shape, but soft enough to brown more easily. This is where plantains become flexible. You can pan-fry them for a tender center, you can bake them, you can mash them, and they won't behave like a chip, but they won't collapse like a banana either. Yellow plantains are the bridge. They can live in savory meals, but they can also carry a little sweetness without turning into dessert. If you've ever wanted a side dish that feels comforting without being sugary, this is usually the sweet spot. If it's dark, spotted, brown, even black, this is the version most people misread. We're trained to see black as past its prime. But with plantains, black is often the moment the fruit finally becomes what it was designed to become. This is the stage that wants heat and time. Not violent heat, just a hot pan and patience. The sugars deepen, the inside softens, and the surface caramelizes into something that tastes warm and rounded. It's why so many cuisines pair ripe plantains with salty, spicy food. The sweetness doesn't compete, it balances. And this is the reason that first bite in the hook felt so wrong. You weren't tasting a bad banana. You were tasting a food that wasn't meant to be judged raw in the same way. A banana is ready at peel time. A plantain is ready at cook time. Once you see that, you stop being surprised by them. You start using them on purpose. Why your brain keeps losing this fight. If you're wondering why this confusion survives in a world where we can look up anything instantly, it's because shopping is designed for speed, not understanding. Your brain uses fast visual rules to move efficiently. Long and yellow equals banana. That shortcut works most of the time, so your brain trusts it. Plantains slip through because they share the same outline, and stores often place them right beside bananas without context. In some regions, language blurs it further. Plantains are simply treated as cooking bananas, so the boundary is fuzzy before you even walk into the aisle. The result is predictable. You buy what looks familiar, use it the way you've always used it, and the first bite feels like something went wrong. But the fruit wasn't wrong. The assumption was, appearance equals function. In food, that's one of the easiest ways to get fooled. Culture. A global snack vs. a global staple. This is where the story widens. Bananas became one of the world's perfect convenience foods. Sweet, portable, ready the second you peel them. They travel well because they demand nothing from you. That's why bananas sit so comfortably inside modern snack logic. Plantains became something else entirely, a foundation. In many parts of Latin America, the Caribbean, and Africa, plantains show up the way rice, bread, or potatoes show up elsewhere, not as a treat, but as an answer to, what are we eating? They're filling, flexible across ripeness stages, and reliable enough to feed a household. Bananas are global snacks. Plantains are cultural infrastructure. And once you see that, the supermarket display starts to look different. It's not one fruit in two sizes. It's two roles living side by side. Energy. Quick boost vs long fuel. Nutritionally, they overlap potassium, vitamin B6, fiber, but they serve different needs in real life. Ripe bananas lean more into sugars, so they feel quick, a fast snack, a quick boost, something you can eat and move on. Plantains, especially when less ripe, lean more into complex starches, so they feel slower and more sustaining, more meal logic than snack logic. Not better, just different jobs. The 5-second rule and the real point. Now here's the simplest way to stop mixing them up, and this one works in the store, before you ever peel anything. Don't ask, which one looks riper? Ask, what am I planning to do with it? If you want a sweet, peel and eat snack, choose bananas. If you want something you'll fry, bake, or build a meal around, choose plantains. Then confirm with the outside. In 5 seconds, look for the clues your eyes can actually use. Plantains are usually larger and more angular, with thicker skin and sharper ridges along the sides, while bananas tend to look rounder and smoother. Plantains often have heavier-looking ends and a tougher, less delicate peel. And if you're allowed to touch lightly, one more clue. A ripe banana gives a little. A plantain stays firmer at the same color. None of these signs are perfect on their own, but together, they're enough to make the right call almost every time. And that's the deeper lesson hiding in the banana aisle. Appearance tells you family, but function tells you role. So next time, don't choose a banana. Choose what you want it to do. Decide by the dish. So the next time you're standing in front of that banana display, don't let the shape make the decision for you. Decide by the dish, then let the outside confirm it. If you want sweet and ready, you're looking for bananas. If you're planning to fry, bake, or build a meal around it, you're looking for plantains usually bigger, more angular, with thicker skin and sharper ridges, and noticeably firmer at the same color. And remember the twist that saves the most waste. When plantains turn dark, they're not automatically bad. For many dishes, that's exactly when they become best. Because this wasn't really a story about two fruits. It was a story about how easy it is to confuse family with function. In the banana aisle, appearance tells you they're related. But the kitchen tells you what they're meant to do. Now I'm curious, have you ever bought plantains thinking they were bananas? Or the other way around? What were you trying to make when you realized the difference? Leave a comment, and if there's another simple thing you want us to decode next, tell us.